So coming on the exhaust side, you'll have two NOx sensors. They measure NO and NO2. One of them at the very end. As you can see here, I'm very close, but this is the output NOx sensor. This one goes all the way to the stack, to the top of the truck. And the one on the input NOx sensor, it actually right after the turbo. So on this truck, you get that exhaust coming from the turbo. There is another NOx sensor for the input. So when you're diagnosing, you'll see input or output. And most commonly, they go plug in. The sensor comes with a little unit. Because the sensor itself is smart, it communicates to the computer through J1939. So the yellow and the green, the new communication, they really communicate like a separate ECM by themselves. So that's the exhaust. It goes back down to the front, and basically on these older the very first years, they come separate units, two separate exhaust units, and they were combined. I think in the 2018, after 2019, they got all combined in one unit. I'm gonna really describe these two units, and I'm gonna put a picture of the newer single one. It's basically the same exact basic. So very first thing, the exhaust is coming from the front to this one. Some of the trucks they have the exhaust, or especially school buses, they have the exhaust go straight to the back. It's easier to see it, but anyway, that pipe comes from the turbo. Very first sensor is a NOx sensor, so it comes right through this unit. So this is basically the DPF. It's very known to be the DPF, but actually in the very front there is a unit called DOC, diesel oxidation catalyst, and then the DPF, diesel particulate filter. It basically just filter everything. As you can see, you got sensors, and you got like a little unit here. Let's see if we can see it from the top. That's the unit there. So you'll have three temperature sensor. The long skinny ones like this are temperature sensors. This is the intermediate temperature. Actually, it writes there temp 2. And then there is a last one closest to me here. Is the DPF outlet sensor. There is also, very importantly, that goes to the temperature module or unit. I got the exact name. That actually, the big one is the temperature module. This one here is very, very important, is the DPF delta pressure sensor. It's right here, and there is an inlet from the front of it, and one that goes to the back, this one, and it actually measures the difference in pressure from the intake to the exhaust of the diesel particulate filter, and that's how the computer determines that you need a generation to do a generation or not. So if you have delta pressure really difference really high, it will trigger to burn the suit in there. Yeah, this can get messed up, and it could be like a little bit pain in the ass. So let's go pretty quick, and then the exhaust goes to circle around this way. Now sometimes, like I said, it goes straight. This is just have to, for keeping some more room, it actually goes out here and comes back from the front up to the SCR. So this is the SCR, and it stands for a selective catalytic reducer. You basically just make a reaction happen like a catalytic converter. and before that you have the famous DEF injector, and you'll see a bunch of stuff going to it. You'll see mainly DEF fluid line, and you see the control here goes straight to the computer, or if you have like one of the first models, it goes straight to the ECM for the controls, and these two coolant heating hoses just to keep it from freezing. So the exhaust fumes will be mixed with urea, and I believe, as I remember, it's NH3. I'll write it down in the video if I'm wrong, and that will help reduce the toxic gases in a reaction that happens inside the SCR. And the toxic gases are the NOx, NO and NO2, and this is actually what measured them at the output here, and tell the difference to the computer if the emission system is doing a good job or not. So in the SCR, we have a temperature unit, and again an input sensor, temperature sensor, that's a very one in the front, and this unit is connected to the back temperature sensor in here, and that temperature module for the SCR communicates to the ECM through J1939 protocol. So I'll probably leave the DEF system in another video, separate video. Actually, the DEF system is just an in-tank sending unit. It's like exactly like a fuel unit, and it has like some antifreeze to keep it hot, and these lines are heated too, so they get to go bad, and they will start getting clogged. And the good thing is the computer can read that. That's why you can see they're all insulated too. And it has a return line, and it's like a fuel system, feed system, basically how it works. Yes, I hope that this video really gave you an insight into the really basically what's going on in the diesel system. And you know, if you're like not really modernized with a diesel, you know, the old school, I mean, it's so simple. What they did add is a bunch of stuff just to treat the exhaust gases, and some of them parts that can go wrong. The very good thing is we had a lot of problems with these when they first appeared, but thankfully Cummins just provided us with new updates that we did really flash the ECM or did update on them, and it did solve a lot of problems. So don't think if you have like something with really first years then you're stuck, because Cummins engineers are smart enough to really had us having the opportunity to just solve these problems through the years with updating the ECM. Well, hit the link below, hit the subscribe button, and put a comment if you have any questions or criticism, and thank you very much for watching.